Hey, good morning, YouTube. How you guys doing today? It is me again, your favorite Texas trucker, and I am in St. Louis, Missouri.
Keep left onto I-64 West.
Headed home to Texas. You know, an interesting fact that some folks don't know about me is that I used to live here. I was born in Missouri in Independence. My dad was a truck driver, and he was from. I don't know exactly where he was from, but anyway, he's somewhere here in Missouri. He lived in Independence his whole life, and you know, he and I didn't have a great relationship.
It's 1.5 miles.
And what little bit of a relationship that we did have, he made me into a person that really wanted to be a truck driver. And so ultimately, you know, he's kind of the reason that I'm out here today driving this truck. I always think about him when I come through Missouri. Usually when I go home, I come down from Minnesota or from Iowa, and so I come down through Kansas City. Of course, Independence is right there by Kansas City, and so I always go past Independence, and it's kind of sad going through there since he passed away a few years ago, and I didn't have anything to do with him in his later years. You know, I think I've talked about that once before. But anyway, I am in St. Louis, and I used to live here. Matter of fact, the arch is over that way. And I'm headed home to Texas. I should be there tomorrow. Would have been there today, but yesterday when I was picking this load up in Streeter, I got a phone call or a message from dispatch wanting me to call them, and so I called them, and they were like, you know, you just got tagged on a UA, so I had to go park it at the terminal in Streeter and go down to St. Mary's Hospital and take a urinalysis and a breathalyzer test, which I've never done a breathalyzer test before, so I thought that was kind of cool. Of course, I passed both of them because I don't do drugs and I'm not drinking and I don't smoke and all that kind of good shit. But so anyway, I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit today about health in the truck. This is going to be a ongoing topic with me. For those of y'all that have been following me, you know that I do have some ongoing health issues, and I'm trying to keep those under control myself, and make the best out of my life. So I've been doing a lot of study, and you know, there's a couple of basic ideas out there concerning health. Now, I'm not so much talking about weight loss as I am about general health and well-being. Now, of course, weight loss kind of comes along with it, but we have to ask ourselves a question, all right? And this is kind of where the focus of my research begins, is you have to ask yourself a question. And, well, you know, let me back up a second, you know, and let me make a statement first. First, let me state that I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a nutritionist. You know, I'm not educated in these manners at all. I've never taken formal classes or formal studies, and I don't have any diplomas, okay?
Keep left onto I-64
anything
West,
that I say is based upon information that I've gleaned through intensive study on my own, using multiple forms of research, and double-checking things.
Take exit 40B on right to I-55
double-checking things in multiple ways, multiple places. Okay. God dang it. Alright, oh, sorry about that. I nearly missed an exit and I had to get over. I thought my exit was further up, and I completely forgot how they've changed everything around here with all this construction going on. Like I said, I don't get through this area very often. anyway, back to what I was saying, is that I've done an intense amount of research on in a lot of different areas, and the first question that I ask myself, or the first observation I make, is that you go back 100 years, all right, in our history.
In 3/4 of a mile, take
150
exit
years in our history,
207/290
and you don't see
on
the
right to I-44
intensity
west,
of the
then
health
keep
problems that we have today. Of course, we've always had health problems. People, as long as people have been alive, there have been health problems. That's a given. But you didn't see the intensity of it. Obesity was not the problem that it is today. I mean, today it's nearly an epidemic. A lot of the things that were happening, they didn't happen back then. Okay, and so we ask ourselves why. That's my first focus is why. Why is it that
take exit
that apparently 100 years ago, 150 years ago, 200 years ago, our ancestors, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-grandparents, and so on down the road were so much healthier than we are today. All right, and the question, when you research it, you follow that information, you follow that line of reasoning,
onto I-44.
you come to find that the reason is because we have changed the food that we eat, right? In so many ways, all right? First, you've got preservatives being added to your foods. And preservatives are chemicals. And then you've got processed foods, that have had all the nutrients pulled out of them. You've got all these genetically modified foods, that are, just barely, represent, the food that they actually, corn, for example, genetically modified corn, they've made it so sweet through genetic modification that it's not even anywhere remotely the same as corn was 100 years ago. Everything has corn syrup in it. Everything has sugar in it. Everything is sweetened. We've gone into this fat-free craze, and in this fat-free craze, we've added sweeteners and chemical sweeteners to products to enhance the taste, since we've taken all the fat out of it. The fat is what gives taste. And, you've got studies saying that that all fat is bad for you, and you've got these no-carb and low-carb diets, and you've got, you just go on and on and on, and a perfect example is butter. In all my life, I've mostly always used margarine, that, different to country crock, or I can't believe it's not butter, and stuff like that, and just recently I found out that stuff is absolutely horrible for you. It's one molecule away from being plastic. They did an experiment with it. They took a tub of butter and stuck it out in the garage for a week, and in a week's time it didn't melt, it didn't change its form, it didn't it didn't grow any mold, flies wouldn't touch it, ants wouldn't touch it, no insects would go near it. They've linked it to 6 different forms of cancer. They've linked it to Alzheimer's. They've linked it to diabetes. It's just been linked to so many different things, because what you're essentially putting into your body is a chemical. So kind of as an experiment, I went to the store one day and looked at the ingredient list, and I took a tub of real butter, real butter, and I took a tub of fake butter, and I put them side by side, and I looked at the ingredients list. Well, the ingredient list on the fake butter is so long it's not even funny, and it's full of stuff that I can't even pronounce. The real butter has 2 ingredients. two ingredients are cream and salt. Period. The lesson that I'm trying to say, and this is where I'm going to end this video, is that when you take food that is chemically processed or genetically processed and you put that into your body, then you're putting into your body all of those chemicals and all of those unpronounceable names, all right? And your body is not made to process those things, okay? So your body begins to break down, and that's where we get cancer, that's where we get sickness, and that's where we get, you know, all these, you know, problems that we have going on in our systems today. That's where you have the proclivity towards obesity. That's where you have diabetes. That's where you have all these problems coming from, because you're flooding your system with chemicals and with processed foods and high carbohydrate diets that your body is not designed to process. Your body is an engine. Your body is a machine, and it has to have the right things in it. So I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to stop this video at that point. Just let you think about that, and then we're going to follow along with this trend a little bit later on. Meanwhile, I'm going to call back my wife, who called in the middle of making this video. Alright, so y'all take care. We'll catch you the next time, and peace out.